Hello everybody, welcome to Tpull's Corner. We're playing the pre-made decks. They're under the starter deck list. They go ahead and drop them into your regular deck list too, so I was at 98 decks and they added 10. So we can go over 100. They don't auto-delete some of yours to make room for these. So you can tell that there is room for more in your deck list if they wanted to, which I think would be great if we could sort our deck list out by the different formats like Brawl and Modern and Alchemy and stuff like that. That would be really handy for me. But they don't have those filters in yet. But I didn't delete any other decks yet. So what I probably do is once I've gone through all the 10 pre-mades and made videos of them for YouTube, I will then export and delete these from my deck list. And they'll still be here as long as we need them for, whatchamacallit, for the season. I was distracted because it says these starter decks are available for the 2023 season. Actually, the Aerial Domination and Cold-Blooded Killers, these type of decks are the older ones. They're the ones that you get just on Arena. They stay there forever. You can use them in the Color Challenge. They are made for the new players to do it. These decks are available for the 2024 season. They haven't updated this yet. So hopefully they will at some point. I'm not sure if it's worth filing a bug report over. But yeah, it's the 2024 season that these are for. We're halfway through. We're going to start next with Outlaw Posse. It's very important to pronounce that word correctly in this day and age. Outlaw Posse. Okay, it's a cowboy theme. Average is kind of cheap, right? 2.7 mana cost average, 25 lands like they do with all the pre-mades. It's a creature deck, 22 creatures, 8 instants, 3 sorceries, 2 enchantments. So no artifacts. They did give us only 14 swamps, 10 mountains, and 1 Raucous Theater to surveil. So it's slightly heavier on the black side than red. And we start with Greedy Freebooter. This is from the Ixalan expansion. Actually, when it dies, you scry 1 and create a treasure token. A couple of those for your 1-drops. Nezumi Linkbreaker. When it dies, you get a 1/1 red mercenary creature token. You see picture to the right. That mercenary has the ability, you can tap it. Any target creature you control can get +1 until end of turn. You activate it only as a sorcery. A kind of deadly creature, Tiny Bones the Pickpocket. It's only a 1/1 with Death Touch. If it deals combat damage to a player, you may cast target non-land permanent card from that player's graveyard, and mana of any type can be spent to cast that spell. So they can dig stuff out of your graveyard. So you're kind of be very careful about what you're willing to put down that might be removed that's cheap enough for them to spend their mana on next turn if Tiny Bones gets through unprotected. And you also have to worry about discard decks. This has been very big for the opponent to discard a card, put down Tiny Bones, attack, and they've picked a card that they can definitely afford next time, and they put a creature out or something next turn. For removal, shoot the Sheriff, destroy a target non-outlaw creature. So remember the outlaws, it tells you in the upper right here, assassins, mercenaries, pirates, rogues, and warlocks are outlaws. And so this is an outlaw-themed deck. We have a Vadmir Newblood, a legendary vampire rogue. So he counts as an outlaw. Whenever you commit a crime, you put a counter on Vadmir. Only triggers once per turn, but when he gets 4 or more counters on it, it has both menace and lifelink. And as a reminder, the crime can be targeting pretty much anything. You target your opponent with a discard spell, you target their creature with a removal card, target something in their graveyard to exile a card from the graveyard. Everything counts as a crime. A little bit of flavor for you there. Charming Scoundrel, 1/1 with haste. You can choose one of the 3 when it comes into the battlefield. Treasure, discard a card to draw a card or create a wicked token that gives it +1/+1. And make it a 2/2 when it hits as soon as it enters. And when that aura is put into the graveyard, each opponent loses 1 life. 3 Deadeye Duelists. This is a nice creature to have with this deck. It's Human Assassin, so it counts as an outlaw, right? Let's see, where's the one time where it tells you, okay, it's Shoot the Sheriff that defines the outlaw, right? So it's an assassin. It deals 1 damage for only 1 mana, but it has reach, so it can defend against, like the cheap fairy flyers in the other pre-made constructed deck. But this is also a nice way to make a crime. Team up the Duelist with Vadmir, give it a +1 every single turn. You're not risking this by attacking it, and you could actually wait, right? Because this happens once each turn. Once during your turn, once during your opponent's turn. So if you have a couple of these out, you could do once on your turn, pump up Vadmir, wait for the opponent's turn, tap the other one. pump up Vadmir, that kind of thing. And you can wait till after their combat turn is done to decide if you want to leave it tapped or not. Magda the Horde Master, Dwarf Berserker, doesn't count as an outlaw, but whenever you commit a crime, create a tapped treasure token. You can sacrifice 3 of the treasures, create a 4/4 red Scorpion Dragon creature token with flying and haste. You can only do it as a sorcery. There, instead of a regular dragon, it's a Scorpion Dragon. Interesting type of creature. Magda's pretty disgusting in this deck. If you don't remove her quickly, those treasures can build up. One more removal with Scorching Shot, deals 5 damage to target creature. That's handy. Here's kind of the centerpiece of the build around, I think. Vile Smasher, Gleeful Grenadier. It's a legendary goblin mercenary, so it counts as an outlaw himself. Whenever another outlaw enters a battlefield under control, deals 1 damage to target opponent. Of course, almost everything else counts as an outlaw in this deck, so you're guaranteed to just summon a creature and automatically deal the damage, which counts as a crime, which will pump up Vadmir, or give you a treasure. Cerebral Confiscation. We have an option. You can make them discard 2 cards, or you can see what they have in their hand if you appreciate the information and only choose 1 non-land card. This works really nice with Tiny Bones. It also counts as a crime. Rakish Crew. I don't know that I really like the way that they did this card, because the artwork is just another one of the usual suspects, which we've already had recently. So it's kind of early to be repeating. This is like basically the artwork from a Streets of New Capenna card, which references, other cards too before in Magic's history. But they're getting a little too repetitive, a little too quickly, and I think they could have done something else. This is sort of like stock footage, and they're just putting in the new creatures in the lineup. Anyway, rant over. When Rakish Crew enters a battlefield, you create one of those mercenary creature tokens. Whenever an outlaw you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So 2 of those enchantments, those are very powerful. Can be potentially in this build around. Vault Plunder, you get 2 of those. When it enters the battlefield, target player draws a card and loses 1 life. Karavek the Punisher, I like Karavek. He's a legendary warlock. Whenever you commit a crime, exile up to 1 target black card from your graveyard and copy it. You can cast a copy, but it does cost you 2 life. 2 more murders, and this is the Karlov Manor version. 2 Outlaw's Fury creatures you control get +2 until end of turn. If you control an outlaw, exile the top card of your library, and you can play that card until the end of the next turn. Plundering Pirate, 2 of these. When it enters a battlefield, create a treasure token. This is a good place for this Orc Pirate to team up with Mag to get your 3rd treasure quickly, and then get that 4/4 Dragon Scorpion out. Is it Dragon Scorpion or Scorpion Dragon? Scorpion Dragon. Okay. I would think, I'm dealing with Magda. I'm used to seeing Magda deal with dragons before. I would think that would be Dragon Scorpion. Type of dragon? Scorpion Dragon? Okay. I guess they got it right. Okay, next card. This one is kind of disgusting. Laughing Jasper Flint. He's a legendary lizard rogue, 4/3. Creatures you control but don't own are mercenaries in addition to their other types. So if you need them to be outlaws, if they weren't outlaws before, makes them an outlaw. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top X cards of the target opponent's library, where X is the number of outlaws you control. So if you already have 3 outlaws on the ground, actually, if you have 3 creatures on the ground, doesn't matter what they are, suddenly with Jasper out, you got 4 outlaws. They all count. Until end of turn, you may cast spells among those cards, and mana of any type can be spent to cast those spells. I think this is an overpowered card myself. I'm afraid of it. Let's see if it does good for us as we play it. Boneyard Desecrator. For 4, you get a 3/4 with Menace. You can sacrifice another creature, put a +1/+1 counter on the Desecrator. If an outlaw was sacrificed this way, you get a treasure token. So between both of the Desecrators, both of the Plundering Pirates, Magda's got a lot of extra help in this besides just creating crimes, right? Hellspur Posse Boss. A lizard rogue, 2/4. Other outlaws you control have haste. When it enters the battlefield, you get 2 of the mercenary creature tokens. So that's 3 different cards that can generate these mercenary creature tokens. And does it look like the cowboy there is like riding the boss? Like using it like a horse or a steed? I don't know. That artwork confuses me. Too many questions. Hellspur Brute. Affinity for outlaws, so you can maybe cost this for 1 red by the time you're done. 5/4 with Trample. And And it's a mercenary, so it's already an outlaw. And Trick Shot deals 6 damage to target creature and 2 damage to up to one other target creature token. So there's a lot of removal in this card, in this deck. It's like they paid attention this time. This looks like it might be a fun deck. We've got, let me go look for them. You got 2 Shoot the Sheriffs. You got 1 Scorching Shot. We've got 2 Trick Shots and 2 Murders. That's 7 removal right there, and not counting what you can make them get rid of with a couple of discard spells as well. So yeah, that's kind of a nicely balanced deck. 2.7. All right, that's enough of an intro. Let's go in and see how fun it is. The only one that's really been fun so far has been the Dynamite. We are doing the full series of pre-made decks. So if people are not sure how to use these, send them over here to Tpull's Corner. Have them watch our guides. We even give little comments at the end of the video and talk about how we might change it up a little bit. I'm sure we won't need to change this deck. This deck is just perfect. Greedy Freebooter. Another one that helps Magda, right? Because we don't mind. If this died, we might sacrifice this one just to get the treasure token to the right time and place. Okay, I think bringing down Flint now, the 1 changed to 2 already, so Jasper counts himself. So if they don't remove this or find some way to deactivate its trigger, we're going to get to look at their spells. Playing additional land, they're going to make good on that. The opponent always does. Right? Okay, we get those. We can play this. Let's see. Until end of turn. Create a green elemental where X is the number of lands you control. I think we want to do that. We don't have enough mana for that. Okay, so let's just go search for a basic land or desert card. And does it matter which color I get? I feel like it doesn't matter. Okay, so not the biggest. Oh, we can cast that though at the same time. Okay, so we're still good. We use both of them. We'll just draw our own deck. We don't need to play our deck anymore. We'll just play their deck. You hit me. How dare you? Do you not know you're dealing with rogues and pirates? And artificial mercenaries? Look, she's a mercenary now. Satyr Scout mercenary. You're such a mercenary. Well, that was quick. I got somebody good real quick. We can play that. We can play that. Wait, where's our other land? What type of land was it? It's not a desert, right? It's not showing up. Yeah, well. Take that. What do we want to do here? That feels good. Already can't attack. We don't have anything against the 5/6. We need one of our removal spells. And it can't be the one that does 5 damage. We need something better than that. This is not the pre-made, right? Because the pre-made deck doesn't have white, right? What do we want to do against this? I think we just block it. Take the treasure. No, we have enough land. Thank you. 4 cards. We're not going to cast that. It's not worth 2 points. Oh, that's a removal card. They know we have this. We cast Bonnie Paul. That's their card. And then we can also cast this. But that would... No, I don't want to burn the treasure. We're just going to pass the turn. They get some nice stuff in exile. Again, they just really need a way to get rid of Jasper. Because their Ox is a token, it does not count, right? Where does it say? Creatures you control but don't own. Okay. Okay, it's dead. You got it. You got it. Do you have two? They have two. How about that? Outlaw's Fury just gives power, not toughness. So they got rid of both of those right away. We'll pass. Let's go ahead and get rid of the 1-2 because this just matters about deserts. We don't have deserts. So their deck has just been useful for making... no, we're not going to do that. We've just been getting chump blockers out of here. And we've been flooding with land. But we can afford a couple of things now, right? We can afford one of these, and we can afford one of these. We explore. Tiny Bones, we'll take Tiny Bones. And, oh, we can get the Deadeye out, too. Okay, excellent. We've got a nice roster now. Okay, we control but don't own that. But that's... This is interesting. The token didn't count as a mercenary. Creatures you control but don't own. It doesn't say non-token creatures. Okay, but the token didn't count, right? That cow... That blue cow was not a... It was a creature. Hang on a second. Let's go look. Blind Paul. Create a legendary blue ox creature token. It was a creature. How come we didn't get to... How come it didn't get to be a mercenary? I don't care. 5, 6, 7. And we just have to hope they don't have a pump spell ready. They could. They could have been waiting. We don't have a single removal spell yet. Alright, we are going to use just our own spells now. It's awesome. We're going to use this now, deal damage to target opponent. And we're going to cast Jasper. We lose 2 life. Auto pay. We got him back. Okay, now it's just a token, right? It's not the original one. The original one goes into exile. Okay, then, what do we do next? I feel like we attack. I feel like we use Outlaw's Fury. Damn. Yeah, let's bring it out. Done. 9 lands. We have drawn a lot of lands so far. Okay, this still works. We're going to get through 6 of theirs. Yes. We want this. We'll cast it. It'll cost us 2 life. We had to pay for it too. But notice, okay, so we exile the top cards of opponent's library, but this resolved first, didn't it? This is why I'm confused on how this works. We committed the crime. We targeted a card from our graveyard, we copied it, and we cast it. So this is here. When you commit a crime, put a counter on it. We just exiled cards from the top of their library. That's a crime. How come it didn't trigger Vadmir? Somebody needs to help me out. Alright, we're not going to get rid of him. We're going to get rid of... Oh, wait, hang on. We got all this other stuff. We destroy you. Okay, now it counts as a crime. They get to draw a card. We'll just hold on to Trick Shot. We'll do this. And they don't wait for our attack. Yeah, there's a couple things that are confusing to me. This should count tokens. It doesn't say it doesn't. And why, when we exile the cards off their library, Did Vadmir not trigger that first time? There must be something in the rules that I do not understand. I know I'm being greedy, right? Like, I want more things to happen than are happening, and I'm getting all upset that, hey, why isn't this triggering? I wanted my ox not to be a regular ox. I wanted it to be a mercenary ox. Somebody hit a bunch of the same letters on the keyboard. This is supposed to be... This is supposed to be a mulligan. We're going to play it for the laughs. If they give me 1 black mana in the next 2 turns, we'll be good. We can even survive for a little bit if... Oh, there we go. Okay. See, it wasn't a mulligan after all. We did exactly what we were supposed to do. Remember, we're under 3.0, so a lot of this is really cheap stuff. They might have counterspells. We've got 2 of these, though, so let's burn one. If we draw out a counterspell, I'm fine. Looking good. I feel like I've already won. Lost all his ability. I don't get a treasure when he dies. That's the worst thing to do to a greedy freebooter. Okay, we have nothing in the graveyard yet. Attack! They can block 1. They're still taking 1 point of damage. Nothing for them to exile yet from the graveyard. And we just need 5 lands to make this deck work. Oh, hello. They could exile that if they wanted to. Ooh. And they do. Aha! You lose a life because we got rid of that. That gave a trample though, didn't it? Darn it. Alright. I think we do this one. And we do this one. Then we just attack. We're starting to run out of ammo. They can bring in the 3/2 for nothing. What else you got? Trailblazer. Okay. Are you doing anything with the extra mana? Of course you are. Exiling their own card. Seriously, Arena? You disgust me. Does this deck make tokens? I literally... Ugh. Can't even. Perfect timing to use Make Your Own Luck. They don't want to attack. Okay, now they got a 3/3. And we're getting 1/1s. Do you want to trade? They don't want to trade. I'm so surprised. They can beat us just with the 2 cards they have. They don't even need to put anything else out, but they're making their land draws and they're going through their entire hand. Our deck is so cheap. I think we save that for the Beanstalk Worm. Yeah. We pass. We save that for the Beanstalk Worm. Or maybe the Flyer. Oh, they can afford everything. Must be nice. Okay, if they attack with the 3/3, we can't actually block with enough creatures. They're going for it. I don't know why they're bothering to exile anymore. It doesn't help them. We get rid of the 3/3. We just take the rest. Trigger, 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 trigger. Cost them a couple life points, get us a couple of mercenaries. And we flood out with land yet again. Get rid of you. And then we just attack with these 3. They can only block 1. 18 to 9. Oh, never mind. I was going to say, maybe we have a chance. Is there anything in our deck that can handle this? It's got Ward 3. We need another removal. We're nearly dead if we got a 2-turn clock. Okay, I feel like I guess I need to go ahead and draw a card rather than make them draw the card. Wicked. Yeah, we'll put it on you. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. They'll block 1 and kill 1. They'd go down to 9, 8, 7. No, I think we just chump block everything in front of this and let Rakish Crew handle everything for us. Never mind, I forget about that. They had the card in exile. Let's see. Draw a card and discard a card. It's fine. They don't have trample though, right? In this, it's a defender, but it's still a pirate. Okay, so they know better than to attack and lose points to Rakish Crew. No, they're going to do it after all. Oh, sweet. You go there. You go there. Down to 10. Trigger, trigger, trigger. Lose 1 life from the Wicked. Use 2 more from Ella. Thank you, Arena. Yes, thank you, Arena. Thank you so much. You're a skeleton. Yeah, we attack with these 2. We're going to lose 1. They'll lose a life point from that. We gain a life point from that. I could use 1 more spell instead of land, Arena. That would be nice. We're going to block you there. We're going to block you there. Seriously. Okay, I hope y'all are counting on the number of lands as I fled out here. Okay, this is the last chance we have to make them lose life. We're dead next turn. Just based on what they have. We got a card, and it's a rogue. I'm taking it. It's a land. Arena! Well, they flooded out for 2 cards, too. They should have attacked with the other one as well. They lose 1 more point of life. And we flooded out with land. Thanks, Arena. Okay, yet another time The opponent is not all that skillful. They actually made at least one mistake. But when the only thing that you're doing is drawing lands, there's not much you can do. We had this problem with the fairy deck last time where we just flooded out with land a couple times. And there was nothing else you could do. You just gotta sit there and die. But that's, you know, Wizards of the Coast and what they think of fun. Now, oh, they're apologizing already. They have the removal. All those removal cards, we just needed one good removal card and we never got it. Let's see if we get starved instead of flooded this time. How many cards do you have? 92? Let's do this. We're not going to trade with the Fawn. Green's become very popular with all these cheap creatures that have very large power and toughness they can get out so quickly. That's nice. Alright, I think we do this. We use all of the mana we have. We hit for 4. There's nothing in the graveyard yet, so Tiny Bones can't get anything. But this will go in the graveyard. We could cast this. Let's see, what do we want to do? They take the damage. Okay, fine. This is a good thing about Boneyard Desecrator. Whatever removal they have, if I keep 2 mana open, I can make them fizzle and still pump this up. So maybe since I don't have 2 held up for mana. Oh, like that. It's only going to cost me 1. I was going to say I should bring down the Deadeye Duelist. Alright, they got their big creature. Gonna play additional land. Of course they have it. Are they playing 4 colors? They are. Okay, we don't have our second red still after all that. Okay, but we can get rid of this. And let's bring down the Duelist this time. We attack with both of these. I don't mind losing either one of those, but if they let it through, that's 6 points. Yeah, you got a double block for that. Let's get rid of the Death Toucher. We got some good options here. They have Itali? No way! I used my removal card 1 turn too quickly. Wow! And what do we have? We got not much. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They need 1 more next turn. No, they've got the treasure. So next turn they could transform this, yeah? That does not give me much time. And it would help if I had one more red mana. But with the ramp, they actually have 8 lands to my 4. Makes me fondly recall the times when I flooded out with this deck. And they got gruff triplets out of it. They just had all this stuff in their hand. Yeah, I thought I might have a chance for like one turn if I hit with everything I had. But then they used one card and got 5 more creatures out. So yeah, what do we do against this? I guess all we can do is get rid of Vitali. That's not enough. They've got lifelink, and they can fly overhead for 6, and we can't stop any one of these anyway. Could we even get through? If we attacked with everybody, we couldn't get through. And we never made it through with Tiny Bones. Never made it through. No, I should have attacked with Freebooter. That's what I should have done. They're just gonna hit us there, okay? Because they wanna prevent any other attacks. Okay, so we still did nothing there. Hopefully they block it with their lifelinker. Hopefully they block it. I need it to die, if you don't mind. Okay. Not the way I wanted them to do it. Oh, I lose from that because they took my enchantment too. Oh, look, we have a Link Breaker, a 1-mana creature compared to all this stuff that they got off of one spell. Yeah, we can do this. And we can go ahead and take out their flyer. And we now have lifelink ourselves. I don't think it's enough. I think they can bum rush us with everything this turn, right? Or would we survive because of the lifelink? Five damage to target creature. Okay. That get rid of the Hellspore Brute. That might be enough just to get rid of us in this one turn. All we needed... What is up with we only had 4 lands the entire match? It's rain or... It's famine or drought here, isn't it? They're being real conservative, too. There you go. Alright, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? We need to get rid of all of these all at once. Now we get the land. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, yeah, we're done. Yeah, I needed anything except land at that point, Arena. You made sure to starve me and then give me lands finally when it was too late to do anything. The deck might actually be a good deck, but that requires Arena to give us some decent things to do here. I think we're dead again. This has trample. We have to block this. Just attack with everything already. Come on. Is that so hard? Why does that show up twice? There's no double activation, is there? Oh wait, it's Annie joins up, right? Yeah. So they get that ability tree. No, this wasn't a good game. You say it was a good game. That wasn't a good game. I had 4 lands. It's entirely possible Wizards made a good pre-made deck, but it's still not going to be fun for me because they're alternating between starving me and flooding me out. What happened to the 50% win-loss ratio I'm supposed to be guaranteed to have? We do have a 2-drop. I guess we'll take it. One drop. Ooh, toxic. We want the duelist out next. In case they have removal for this, we still want to be able to block the toxic. It's probably going to be a poison deck. Ta-da! And it's going to be a cheap go-wide deck too, isn't it? Alright, we already have more land than we did for most of last time. And we're gonna need a removal card real soon. Yeah, that's a mistake. Pass. We're taking 3. We end up with 3 creatures back. That was a good trade on my part. Done. Unless they have a board wipe ready to go. I didn't want to attack because I don't want to take 3 more points in case they have removal. So that's a good call. There was nothing we could have done to save that. Creatures, plural. They should block the duelist. They're tapped out, so we don't expect them to have any kind of. Is that, yeah? That is a treasure, but this should be fine. And we can still bring that down. The mountain we can bring down next turn. Still drawing kind of heavy on the lands compared to spells. Our opponent looks like they have tons of spells. We'll use our treasure to bring this down. And now it's a good time to attack with everybody. These are, a lot of these spells are not exciting, right? So like the Nezumi Link Breaker is not necessarily exciting. Outlaw's Fury makes for an okay combat tactic. They're going to get rid of my Brute. And they can still afford to activate that. This particular type of deck is really good with the incubation to just refill the ring. Here we go. Here we go. Let's go ahead and pump up the Plundering Pirate. We'll force the trade. They should want to trade. And we're out of ammo, so we hope that the remaining spells are not that great for them. Because they can cast almost anything. Okay, incubate 4, and they get to activate it already this turn. And it's got Vigilance, so it can attack and block. 2, 3 creatures you control get. Okay, so we're going to activate that. We're going to attack with just the 1 card. No. You're not going to fall for that, are you? It's okay, we just got to land. And scry another land. Wow. That's 9 lands. And 9 spells. They're still catching up with the land. Of course. The perfect time for us to just outnumber the spells with the land. So it's either Flood or Famine. Flood or Famine. Flood or Famine. That's not going to be enough to stop all the poison coming our way. They just had as many turns as they needed to get the 1 card, and suddenly we're dead in the water. And yet again, yeah, we don't have any kind of board wipe on our deck. Even there, we just got a land. So we can do this, and we can take out 2 of them. And they can't block, so we could do 4. But that's even blocking with 1, that's 5 more poison counters coming our way. And yet again, our opponent gets exactly the spell they need while we just draw land. There isn't much in the way of skill that you can do on these. That also explains why he was willing to block so quickly, because he knew he had the board wipe ready. Alright, we'll try one more time. We're hoping for just a decent game where we have a nice balance of landed spells. This is a relatively cheap deck, so we're erring on the side of flooding out more often than not. Where we're just sitting there waiting for something to come up in our hand. Okay, I wanted to put out Vial Smasher first, and then we put out all the other Outlaws. And with this kind of ramp thing, I'm counting on them not having a lightning bolt on the first time. No, they just have a big creature like that. Okay, so what can we do here? When you commit a crime, I think we just destroy this now. I did that wrong. I was supposed to put out Magna first. Shoot. Oh well. I would have had a treasure token. Alright, we'll see if that mistake cost me the game. Haven't made good on the Vial Smasher yet. They just have another one. Okay. Nothing's good as far as there. Okay. We get a crime this time. We attack. The treasure token comes in tap, so we can't use it right away in case we did want to use it and burn it for one of these things. And for a change, our removal spells came up right when we need them because the dinosaurs come out big and easy. Okay, doesn't like Magna. Copy that. Let's do this. There we go. Vial Smasher comes in play. And we do something with it. We can also bring out the Freebooter. And the one thing that's good about Vial Smasher is it doesn't have the rider on it. So it's good no matter how many Outlaws you bring in. It's not like this can only activate once per turn, which Wizards has gotten really good. Excuse me. They've gotten really big into doing with a lot of their cards. To their credit, they're putting those limitations on because they want to make sure they don't make any broken cards. We're going to take the card. Yeah, we want to bring this one down first. Commit the crime. We don't have open mana to cast anything, but this has Menace. So we get through like right that. And now we should get them no matter what next turn. If they remove a creature, they're going to have to remove the Desecrator because it has Menace. But they might be tempted to do Vial Smasher. I don't think they have enough, right? No matter what they do, it's not enough. They'd have to double block this, in which case this is enough. We can just bum rush. We don't even need to do anything else. But other Outlaws you control have haste. That does help. That's an Outlaw right there. Probably should have put down the Mercenary. Doesn't matter. They're dead. It's kind of... if you want to go wide deck, this is kind of fun. I usually don't build ones that have tons of creatures like this. I'm not usually a go wide type of guy. If you know what I mean. They did what they could out of spite. They did manage to get 2 points to our face. Alright. So there we finally had a good balance of cards and spells that we could do, and you saw the deck worked well. So I would say this is probably behind Dynamite. Let's go ahead and look at the deck one more time. Dynamite was the one that I've had the most fun with so far. I guess the Outlaw Posse is the next most fun deck, and really what makes it fun is when you get Laughing Jasper Flint out, and you're able to go ahead and start getting stuff off of your opponent's deck and using their stuff against them. I do think that they have probably just enough removal spells. This Link Breaker card feels very bad if I don't get it on turn 1. Like, I shouldn't have 2 copies of it. And I only have 1 copy of Tiny Bones, but, I mean, is there ever a time if you had another copy of Tiny Bones, is there ever a reason you would put a Link Breaker in instead of a Tiny Bones? So there's the first upgrade that I would do. And then maybe there's one of these in here that instead of Outlaw's Fury, maybe I would do another straight up removal card, possibly. But other than that, I think the deck it's fairly well balanced overall. Again, we'll take a look at it's a little bit on the cheap side, 2.7, and mostly creatures. And the two enchantments that they do have fit in very well with the Outlaw theme in providing you just enough value. This alone can help turn a game. And with the crime mechanic and the way they set it up, there's a nice assortage of creatures that take advantage of committing crimes. This deck, I think, is going to give you the edge in a lot of the one-on-ones against the pre-made decks. So what I might do for fun is take this deck out in the, I think there's a place on here where you can just go choose a pre-constructed deck, and you know for sure that you're going to be matched up with the other pre-constructed decks. I'd like to see how this matches up against the other pre-constructeds. I think this one would have a bit of an edge over most of them. But yeah, so we're getting closer to the fun, right? Between the dinosaurs and the legendary lizard rogue, I think we're doing good on having the fun. Let me know if you've taken these decks out for a spin. If you've got one that's turning out to be your favorite more than this one or the dinosaur one. As always, we thank our patron. We ask you to like and subscribe, and we're going to do one more of the pre-mades next time. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.